For me, every wall is a door. I just need to find the right key.
Okay. And what are the most important keys?
I think, well, in my book, it's called the Life Bible. It's not out in the English yet. It'll probably be out in English later this year, 2021. But I think the most popular life keys in the book that open all the doors that you think are walls that are holding you back. I think the biggest one that people talk most about is that you are not your thoughts or your feelings or emotions. And I think it's in a very practical way. Like I always talk about, like a lot of spiritual coaches talk about this, and mental health coaches that talk about like your brain and stuff like that. And I always think of him as like my roommate. He's my forever roommate, and whatever I see, he sees, and whatever I hear, he hears. So like I am not holding myself back in any way, but my brain is. Like my brain, his only goal in life is to survive. Like that's the brain's only goal. Like he's the only organ that knows he's an organ, but he only has this one goal. That's to survive. So if you look at this very practically, like your goal in life is to like live to the fullest, or like enjoy yourself, be happy, grow. Like your big goal in life is just to grow as a human being,
Mm.
but you can't grow if you're constantly trying to stay safe and survive. So like this is where you and your brain kind of clash. Like that's why he doesn't want to get out of his comfort zone, because he wants to preserve energy, and like in case there's like a tiger, behind that cupboard or whatever, like he always wants to preserve energy and like really keep you alive, but you want to live. So you have to kind of like think of your thoughts and your emotions like, oh, is this coming from me right now, or is this coming from my brain? So whenever I'm scared, like whenever I don't feel confident, I'm like, oh shit, I can't do this. I'm like, whoa, that's coming from my brain. Okay, I'm gonna side that, and then I'm gonna do whatever I can to prepare, and like, what do I do if the worst thing happens? What do I do if the best thing happens? And then I do all these like practical other ways to kind of lower the volume in the brain. But it's like very, very important to know, and it's a very good key to have, that like whenever you're talking against yourself, or you're like kind of tearing yourself down, that's not you, that's your brain. So you have to kind of learn how to talk with your brain and kind of sit down with it, journal, do visualizations. Like the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So you have to kind of like learn how to live with your forever roommate, and he won't hold you back.
Mm. Is
I
that the
think
most important key, or are there multiple keys?
there are multiple keys. I mean, we have a very good one that's basically um, the roadmap of the emotions. So basically, your emotions, like when you feel them most, when you feel most angry or most upset, your emotion is like in the middle of your brain, like right in the middle here. Like it comes up through your spine, and then you kind of figure out your emotions in your frontal lobe. So whenever you feel them most, they're kind of stuck in the middle of your brain, and you're like they're feeding all the neurotransmitters, and you really want to hit something or scream. You just have to wait and give the emotion, like, that's where like the term sleep on it comes from. You have to give the emotions time to reach your frontal lobe so you can accurately work through them.
Mhm.
And I mean, then we have like vulnerability. That's like one of the big ones too. To be completely vulnerable is one of the bravest thing you can do. And like Brene Brown says, you are enough. I think that's been like, I think that's one, like what I'm most known for in Iceland right now is you are enough. They kind of picked that up and made that a whole thing. And I think that's a big thing that I've done for a very long time. And that's helped me with like imposter syndrome and confidence. Like I've told myself I am enough for in 8, 9 years now. 9 years I've said I am enough to myself every single day. And I just show up as I am, and I do my best. And I think that's what's gotten like the biggest advantage for me. That's maybe what I've done differently than a lot of other people. I've just
Mhm.
constantly reminded myself I am enough. And now I have such a very strong, like unbreakable foundation in my mental health. Just It's just based on this sentence, I am enough. So like everything I do with a day is a bonus because I'm already enough. Like I don't need anything. Like I want to do this and I decide to do that, but I don't need to do it. So I feel like that gives me a lot of power and a lot of freedom too. This just small sentence. There was a moment when I was like a teenager where I think I heard the sentence first with Brene Brown. I'm not entirely sure, but I wrote it on like little post-it notes, and I would like put it on the steering wheel of my car. and I would put it on my computer and I would put it on like my desk and stuff like that. And I would just constantly be reminding myself that I am enough as I am. Like there's like, there's an incredible chance of being born already. Like your life is a gift. So you have to treat it like it is. So I think that's helped me a lot, and giving me a lot of confidence. And I have a couple of keys in the book about how you can create confidence, like, power poses, all the practical stuff. And also just really abstract ideas as well. Like think of yourself and your life in like abstract ways. Like who's going to tell you that this is not a computer simulation? Like who's going to tell you that you can just program success into your mind? Like I do believe that we have programs running in our minds. Like you either have a mindset that's a victimized mindset, that like everything is against you and you're such a victim, or you have like a growing learner student mindset that you're just constantly growing. Like what is this teaching me? Like you always have a choice, and you always have like the power to choose, and the power to kind of reprogram your mind a bit. And I really like that. And I'm constantly reprogramming myself and like just observing myself and my reactions, and especially thoughts and emotions, because that's the guy I need to reprogram the most. That's my brain.
Yeah.